what I wanted to do today is I want to talk about impact. I think impact is a really important thing that obviously amateur golfers try to get better at. What you are effectively looking for when it comes to this impact position is you're looking for your hands to be, I would say, controlling the low point, which basically means we want to make sure the hands aren't too far back. So if the hands are too far back, the club is going to strike the ground too early. The problem then is that you start delivering the club with too much loft. Obviously, if you're hitting the ground early, your contact's not going to be great. You're adding loft, so you're going to be losing potential distance. And also, you know, you're just going to kind of be playing golf in this sort of scooping. There's going to be tendencies where you're going to end up hitting the equator of the ball. You're going to be thinning it. And if you're having a really bad day, even sort of completely topping it and missing it. So we need to make sure we find a way of getting the hands further forward. And the way you're going to do that, quite simply, is by, should we say, just keeping this trail arm sort of straighter. Okay, so if I sort of made sure that in the golf swing, if my sort of right arm stayed pretty straight on the way back and on the way through, then this would give me a really good chance of being able to control that area of contact each and every time. But we have a dilemma in the golf swing, because if I kept my right arm completely straight, that's about as far as I can swing back. So one, it would hinder how much leverage I can create. So that would mean I wouldn't be able to create as much sort of speed. But the other problem is that I wouldn't be able to produce any wrist cock either. So if you can mess around with this yourself. You keep your trail arm completely straight, you're not going to be able to produce any wrist cock. So we need wrist cocks. That's going to help us really whip the club through. And we also need leverage. You want to try and swing your lead arm as high as you physically can, because it will help you generate more speed. And more speed's a really big thing for, you know, getting better at golf. Hit the ball that little bit further, you're hitting less clubs into greens, you're going to notice you're going to start sticking it a lot closer. So that's the sort of dilemma you have when it comes to this sort of trail hand. So what I tend to suggest for a lot of my students is put your hands together like so, and then just sort of allowing your right arm to soften just slightly, and then position your right hand so it's located underneath your left like this, and then just sort of practice doing a backswing position. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to use your trail hand. So I'm trying to use my right hand to help me lever my left arm up in the air, and your left hand is almost trying to push in a straight line upwards, and your right hand is trying to help you get the left arm closer to the chest like so. And if you do this exercise, it's really simple and quite fascinating how biomechanically people produce the correct results. You know, so one of the problems with a lot of golfers is that the hands get too close to the body. So the arm bends too much and this arm bends too much, and then this has a negative impact on the downswing, which we'll come to. So working on this widening motion, you don't tend to see people do this exercise like so. They tend to know what they're trying to do and where they're trying to put the energy. And all of a sudden you start being more aware that your hands are supposed to kind of be up here. You start to use the ground a lot better, and you start to pivot a lot better, because you're sort of thinking more about what your hands are supposed to do. And then that gives you the capacity to work into a much better backswing position. So width is a big thing, particularly in this backswing position, because like I said earlier, if my right arm is sort of too bent, then what will happen, let's bring a golf club into place, it's better. If my right arm is too bent in this way, or my left arm gets too bent, and I come in towards this downswing, these arms are too folded. So one of two things is going to happen. It's either going to promote a casting motion too early in the golf swing, which is going to hinder us a distance, or you're going to have to do something drastically different to be able to control that low point with your body, which again is not going to be a very functional movement pattern that we want to be adopting. So we've got to try and find a way to get that right arm up there. But again, the reason why I like that drill is because it kind of gets your hands working in unison, so you can adopt a really good athletic backswing position. So that's stage one. Get the width, get yourself into a good backswing position. Then what you can start to do is you can start to think about, you know, which is a great one, I think that most people like, is sort of throwing your right arm through. Okay, I like that feeling, sort of, you know, throwing the club through like so. As I demonstrate this, you can really hear that club whipping through like so. Okay, now again, if I was too bent this way, then either I'd be too narrow, right? Do you see what I mean? My hands would be too narrow, I wouldn't be able to control that low point. Otherwise it creates this casting motion. So we're kind of getting into this position where you can throw. Now what I tend to do for most of my students, so I think this is again a nice way to sort of visualize a lot of this, and I do this with all my online students, because I think the one thing that, you know, everyone's always asking is how should it feel. So if I go back and use my resistance tube, I get students right hand only, just to use some resistance tubing just to elevate that arm up, because that's your backswing position. Now, we go into this through swing, okay, and I go into this sort of idea of sort of throwing it like so and trying to throw this club. But what's always interesting is if I sort of throw it, see the way I don't follow it, I come back, yeah, because again I need to keep this taut. So if I just improve so there's less slack going on, so I don't follow it, I move away from it. And as I move away from it, I can extend my arm further out. So this is when you really want to get the feeling of what your body is doing, sort of in unison, but they're also doing theoretically different things. You know, in this through swing, this side, this left side is, once you've sort of started this downswing, you've pressure loaded that lead side, this left side is clearing out of the way. So as that lead leg starts to create an element of extension, it starts to pull its way out of here so that then you can push that club through. And if you start to, the next time you grab your club, you start to think about that, okay? Because like I said, if you're somebody who's got high hands like this, and you think about, you know, what sort of forces you're applying to the club, you want to be pushing down, but you also need to be moving out the way. So this side needs to be pulling, okay, and this side needs to be pushing. And if you can get the blend of both of those forces together, you're going to find that you're going to be able to control that swing shape and your swing plane so much better. So I would get some resistance tubing, because like I said, I can see the success that my online students have, the ones that do the sort of drills and suggestions. And I think all I'm trying to say is width is a really important thing. And I just think if you're not thinking about it in terms of what your hands are actually trying to do, that's probably one of the reasons why you're struggling. So in the backswing, your trail hand is applying a pressure onto your lead arm to help it stay sort of straight and pushing it in a straight line. And then this hand is helping us complete that backswing position. And then as we come in towards this sort of through swing, that right arm is again applying pressure down and through as you pull. So as I pull my lead side through, I push my hands down, and that's what creates that sort of effortless whipping motion through the ball. Have a go, let me know. See you soon.